usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back with you on this beautiful Monday evening, the 29th of June, 2026. I hope all of you are doing well. I hope you've had a wonderful start to the week and that you're enjoying the FIFA World Cup as it rages on. Already at the round of 32, things have happened. Two teams out, two teams through to the round of 16, with South Africa sent packing yesterday as they lost by a goal to nil against Canada. And earlier on this evening, we did witness Brazil get the better of the Japanese, who they managed to beat by 2-1. Quite an entertaining fixture that we did witness right out there. So I hope all of you did enjoy the action for what it was. Viola is here today. She's saying she's the early bird. I'm not sure. You're not sure about what? Somebody called really says, hey, how are you? I'm doing all right. How about yourself? It's a pleasure to have you all on the Football Tribe UG channel. I hope you've had a wonderful start to your new week, and I hope you're doing great. Mine has been a bit slow, a bit frustrating in a way. The Monday had some internet troubles. For those of you that were part of our morning broadcast, you did experience that with me when I had to resort to some unconventional means to deliver to you that broadcast. But nonetheless, we are back. And for those of you that are sending your happy belated birthday messages, I thank you all. The day was yesterday, so today has just been a mere continuation of that for those of you that sent through the messages. I did see a colleague of mine who said it so freshly as though the day was today. But for clarification, the birthday was yesterday. But nonetheless, thank you. Reluctant Gamer is saying, did you watch Brazil? Obviously, I did. A very beautiful game of football in there. The Brazilians had to leave it late through Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli to ensure that they made it to the next round of the competition. As we speak, German are coming up against Paraguay. The players are marching out. We'll be looking at to their starting 11s as how both teams have set up for tonight, and I'll also be setting up a poll question for tonight. Bruno Guimaraes' assist, that was quite impressive. Nonya United Road, that's from Viola. Viola is looking for United Road 10. But I've not seen United Road 10 in the last couple of days. I'll be hoping that he does join us subsequently, perhaps during the course of this broadcast. Just to mention, this game is kicking off at 11:30 p.m. East African time, a little bit favorable, but we do have the next game kicking off at 4 a.m. That's the game between Netherlands and Morocco, so do not miss out on that. Anyways, allow me to set up a poll question for tonight as we also wait for the others to join us. So who will, Jesus Christ, who will win tonight? Who will win tonight? That's German versus Paraguay. Who do you think is going to win? You'll be giving me your predictions. In the morning, a lot of people predicted that it will be Netherlands that will go through at the expense of Morocco. So now there's no room for a draw here, because at the end of the game, we must have a winner. Whether it takes up to extra time, whether it necessitates penalties, we must have a winner at the end of the day. So that's why you shouldn't expect to see a third option for tonight's poll question. I can see Daniel Berry Sports Highlight says, happy Monday. What's up, everyone? Hi, Daniel. How are you doing? Okay, then really, you had the message retracted. I do not know what exactly it was saying, but I hope it was all for the good reasons. Two of your messages have been retracted, but it's all good. Anyways, and for those of you that have taken the time to watch our videos that we did put out on Sunday in the morning and in the evening, respectively, thank you so much for taking the time. Those of you that have watched our video about Arsenal's offer for Bruno Guimaraes and that discussion, the discussion about Elliot Anderson, thank you so much. Those that have been watching the Waiki Bender interview, I can see you put in quite a shift. So thank you so much for dedicating your time to do that. So without wasting any further ado, let's go through the starting 11s there, because the fixture is set to kick off in the next couple of minutes. Right now, both teams are going through their anthems, and during the course of the broadcast, we'll then get to speak about the review of what we did witness of Brazil, or make of Brazil and Japan in that game. So German have Manuel Neuer in goal. They've gone for a back four with Joshua Kimmich, Antonio Rudiger, Jonathan Tah, Nathaniel Brown at left back. Then the midfield of Felix Mencha, Alexander Pavlovich, Leroy Sané, Dennis Undav finally gets a nod to start. Florian Wirtz, as well as Kai Havertz. Those are the players that have started for Germany. Obviously, on the bench, they do have some good players, the likes of Jamal Musiala and Nick Voltmada, that is yet to kick a ball in this one, the likes of Pascal Gropp, Nadeem Amil. Then there's a David Ram. This one is a defender, but they do have some players that you can call on to when you want to tweak things a bit up. I've been trying to scan through to find Leroy Sané, but it doesn't appear he is on the matchday squad. I don't know for whatever reason that will be, but Leon Goretzka is out there. On the side of Paraguay, they have, okay, let me get a bit of a source for that starting 11, because this one decided to act upon me at the time when I was about to read it out. Okay, for Paraguay, they have Gil in goal. He's called Orlando Gil. They have Alonso to the left back. They have Caceres at right back. They have Gomez. That's Gustavo Gomez. They have Jose Canale. They have Kubasi in that Andres Kubasi in that central pivot role, because they have gone for a 4-1-4-1 kind of system, which could qualify for a 4-5-1, basically. And then they have Julio Enciso. Yes, this one did play at Brighton. Then you have Galaza, you have Bodadilla, you have Almiron, Miguel Almiron. You remember he did get a red card in that 1-0 victory against Turkey at the group stages. And then you have Avalos leading the lines there for the Paraguay side. So that's how both teams have set up, and let's hope we will get to enjoy this fixture. Oh, my bad. Is that the case, really? Oh, Leroy Sané is starting. I don't know how that I don't know how that quickly escaped out of my head. But it's Leroy Sané gets the nod to start alongside Florian Wirtz and Dennis Undav with Kai Havertz. I don't know why my mind sort of was seeking his name on the bench. Maybe because his performances as a starter have not been really up to par. Anyways, in the earlier fixture, Brazil did a beat up against Japan by 2-1. Yes, 2-1 to advance to the round of 16. They did find themselves a goal behind in the opening half of that game when the Japanese pounced on a loose ball to steal possession in around the central midfield or near the center arc there before running through. Now, it was such a beautiful goal by Keishu Sano, because it was literally a sore strike. Wins the ball back, drives it forward. In a way, the Brazilian defense and midfield sort of kind of ball watched in a way, because they seem to have this predisposition that maybe he was going to distribute the ball, that he was going to pass it to somebody else, and he ended up not passing it. And then before they knew it, Ason Ramsey-Baker, who was way off his line, guy struck the ball and hit the back of the net, and it was 1-0. So it's that 1-0 advantage that they carried themselves into the opening half. Anyways, guys, for those of you that have just joined us, good evening to you all. Welcome to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is my name. We are here for the watch along of the game between Germany and Paraguay, but also get to review all the other World Cup games that have transpired. thus far. Obviously, we did touch the one of South Africa last night and in the morning, so we'll not dwell too much on it. But the earlier game was between Brazil and Japan, and that's what we are discussing as we wait for the kickoff in this one. Then Casemiro. Now, Brazil came out really, really dominant in that second half because really they did open themselves up a bit because they got themselves vulnerable to the counterattack as they committed lots of numbers forward, especially in the second half, and tried to search for that equalizer. They ended up with 20 shots on target compared to Japanese 5, 2 on target for the Japanese and 7 on target for the Brazilians. But eventually, their efforts paid off when Carlos Casemiro scored to restore parity, and that was in the 56th minute. And then the game, obviously, Brazil went on to continue with their dominancy. And I remember the Japanese at some point looked on hoping for that hydration break to come just in time for them to see if they could, get a breather, but it was Gabriel Magalhaes' cross that was headed home by Carlos Casemiro to give the Brazilians the equalizer. And then in the very, very late on in the game, that's in the 6th minute of stoppage time, Gabriel Martinelli capitalized on a beautiful assist from Bruno Guimaraes before he was withdrawn to score and make it 2-1 in favor of the Selcao of Paraguay. Almost wanted to get on the score sheet in as early as the 2nd minute of this game. That was okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. That's United Road 10. United Road 10. Tell me, do you have somebody that gives you intel, or do you just have that romantic intuition that whenever Viola pops up and asks about you, you suddenly pop up? Maybe Viola should ask about you quite more often than not, so that we get to see you more often on the broadcast. But it's a pleasure to have you back with us. You say, do not worry, I'm back. Then Raymond is saying, hi, German will go through to the last 16 and German will win this game. Okay, Raymond, put your prediction down there in the poll question. We have a poll question: who will win tonight? We have German or Paraguay. Then earlier on, you had said, hi, PIF. That's the private investment fund of the Saudis themselves are ready to sell Newcastle United right now, and Amanda Stevali should buy it. Well, we'll have to wait and see whether that is the case. But I'm not convinced that the Saudis have already given up on that project just a couple of years into it. In any case, maybe they need to take a page out of Qataris with what they've done with Man City and then Paris Saint-Germain, that sort of thing, really. You say it's intuition, skills, okay. Maybe that's why I called it romantic intuition. Shimi says, where is your Brazil kit, man? Very happy that Brazil won. Could have even better with your wearing it next time. Well, I wanted to wear the kit, but then I remembered I wore the kit on Saturday. like I was saying, for those of you that have had the opportunity to watch our interviews, the 2 interviews that we did publish on Sunday, you must have seen me don that kit. So it was just implausible for me to be donning it just a day later or a day and a half later. So, but we'll get it done on sooner rather than later, because after all, it's the only national team kit that I have in my locker room. But yeah, so Brazil had a good game. They were quite dominant. It's that final pass that they were oftentimes lacking. They did force Zion Suzuki, the Japanese goalkeeper, into a save or 2. But overall, you felt that the dominant Japan looked to defend quite narrowly. They constantly offered them or allowed to accommodate Brazil more spaces on the wings. And that's why when you look at the first goal or the equalizer, it comes as a cross from the left side part of the pitch by Gabriel Magalhaes, and then Carlos Casemiro, who had popped up in the area, headed home. So they were committing so many numbers up front to try and find that equalizer. My worry had been that it left them so vulnerable on the counter-attack. And you do remember that Danilo did get a yellow card for a professional foul because he needed to tackle that Japanese player. Otherwise, maybe the story would have ended up quite differently. So what he did there was simply what we call a professional foul to impede the Japanese from proceeding forward. And yeah, it sort of felt that game. We had expected Brazil to be dominant. They did that. It's in that final third area where you thought things did not really quite happen well for Vinicius Junior, for Carlos Casemiro. Yes, Ryan in the second half had some really, really good impact on the game. Now, it's not to say that Vinicius Junior did not have an impact on the game. He had a good game. It's simply contrary to what we had been accustomed of him, that he had scored in 3 consecutive games thus far. So maybe overall expectations that were that he was either going to score or provide an assist, and he fell short of that. But nonetheless, he still had a good game. And I saw every time he got on the ball, the Japanese looked to double up on him in their setup, the way they were playing. Of course, they came in with a back three that included Takahiro Tomiyasu, that included Aito and Taniguchi in that back line. Then Sano from that central midfield alongside Daichi Kamada, Nakamura, Dion, then Yude, Aito, then Maeda, while Brazil, of course, had Ryan, Cunha, Vinicius Junior up front, Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paqueta, and Carlos Casemiro in that central midfield, while the backline remained unchanged. Douglas Santos, Danilo, Marquinhos, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Alson Ramsey-Becker. So, and then, unfortunately, Carlos Casemiro appeared to have been forced off through an injury. That was a bit of a concern. Maybe I hope it was just cramping, because it was literally after 90 minutes that he comes on. Then for Endrick came on very, very early in the game. United Road says, oh, well, he's back. Says she's here. So United Road 10, I don't know if you had dropped off, but the sooner you return, the better Viola will enjoy your company. But otherwise, I hope it is all good with you. It's a corner kick for Team German as they look to, to find the leads. The Germans can be good headers of the ball. They have some quite towering figures, the likes of Kai Havertz. Franwitz could not keep it low with that attempt from the D area. Just right in front of the 18 yards box. Oh, okay. German, my expectation is for German to go through, by the way. That will be my prediction. I don't know with what scoreline, but I know they may struggle to break this Paraguay side down. They're a very, very stubborn team. Defensively, they are hard to beat. They had knack to crack. So, so let's see whether German will be able to crack this code of of this Paraguay side. Microphone is bouncing on me already. Oh, my microphone is already bouncing on me already. I don't know what really, really went wrong with this microphone. But the rate at which it goes off fast is really, really concerning. Um, long time while I was hiding from me. Okay. Okay. I can see the lovely accusations of, you went missing. I've not heard from Epic Candle. I hope you're doing all right. Jesus JY 1815. Hope you're doing well. There's a couple of people that I've not seen on the forum for a bit. For a bit. Oh, Rio Dandy. Oh, Rio Dandy was busy with exams. Hopefully, he's about to conclude with them. He was busy with exams. Last we interacted. Pressing Kosi, ever since South Africa were knocked out, we've not heard from him. From South Africa, son of Soweto as well. You know. Nkosi is recovering. Well, let him recover in peace. But like I said, for me, if you're a Bafana fan, of course it's disappointing that you exit the competition. But a part of me feels that there are positives to take out of the tournament performance overall. There are things to work on, definitely. There are things to definitely work on and improve in terms of their overall game. But yeah, Rowan Williams had a good tournament for me. Mbokazi, I did learn today that he does play for Chicago Fire, only 20 years of age. He looked quite dominant in that South African backline. Yeah, those were some of Mokoena in that midfield. I thought he had a good campaign, although he ended up missing a game through suspension. When are we learning each other's languages or language? So, what's your language, United Road 10? Because, well, I have to go translate. Oh, Viola, Google has translator, right? So, we need to teach each other language. So it's as simple as no need, you're cheating. What's that supposed to mean? Let me mine is Yoruba. Oh, Yoruba, that's from Nigeria, right? That's from Nigeria. Interesting. How is Abuja? How is Lagos? How is what's that place? The Niger Delta. Some of those comments, I'm not going to label myself into reading them. They're a bit personal to you guys, but we are following the conversation. So yeah. Anyways, as the World Cup rages on, the transfer also continues. Lolo, I'm near Lagos, but I grew up in South Africa. So you speak do you speak Zulu or Kosa or Afrikaners or Afrikaans? Then what's the other language? South Africa also has multiple languages. Which other language do you speak? No Google, let us watch football. Viola, everything you type in that he doesn't understand, yeah, it's a matter of copy the comment, go and paste it in Google and see what it means. Google is not perfect at translations, but sometimes it is right or correct. Only a bit of Afrikaans because of school. It was a subject. Oh, oh. I mean, if you had to draw comparisons, what's that? What's Afrikaans like as a language? Is it like the Nigerian version? Is it like Nigeria's version of Nigerian English? For it to be like South African version of English, or is it like an indigenous language kind of thing, where the way you mentioned Yoruba, or the way we have Luganda, the way we have Kiswahili from our friends in Tanzania and Kenya and Zanzibar, what's that like? So, like I was saying, as the World Cup rages on, transfers also, or transfer business, does continue on the other side of the aisle. You from Nigeria? Lolo. No, it's a derivative. Oh, a derivative of Dutch, Old Dutch. Okay, okay. The Dutch Boers were the dominant foreign population in South Africa, and that's why they have that infamous song, that infamously famous song of, sort of that insinuates that kill the Boer, things like that. One that was being accused of Julius Malema not too far back of, chanting or singing. So, anyways, as transfers rage on, Yan Diomande has chosen PSG over Liverpool. Should he be permitted to leave RB Leipzig this summer? Then Heki is going to be joining Everton from Middlesbrough. That deal is as good as done, literally. Oh yes, don't know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube. I mean, we try to be as careful as possible with some of these languages, because sometimes these platforms do not take into account or context. They do not take into account the context within which you mention something. It's maybe it's for them the matter of it being a bad keyword in their context. So you never know. Techno says, I am from India. I did subscribe. Thank you so much. Can you help me? How can I help you, Techno? If I have the means to, I'll render my help. If I do not have the capacity to help, then you'll also know quite soon. Now, according to Matt Law of The Telegraph, Aston Villa value Arsenal and Chelsea target Morgan Rogers at £130 million. The club do not want to sell him. Now, you remember when we were discussing this in the wake of Elliot Anderson and among other deals, that clubs set their price tags for players to be really, really high to fend off interest from other clubs, and that should a club be willing to pay as high as that amount, then they should then make it worthwhile for the selling club. Looks like Aston Villa are looking to take that direction. But more importantly, Manchester City did the market dirty in setting that precedent of agreeing to pay £116 million, with some sources indicating that the fee could rise to £130 million in expected future add-ons. Although you'll find sort of divided opinions about that. But okay, what will take for what has been widely confirmed beyond the initial fee that was reported, £116 million. They've sort of set the precedent for the market to be that expensive. So a club with a similar profile of a player, regardless of where they play positionally on the pitch, is going to be looking at that as the benchmark to say, look, Elliot Anderson just cost £116 million. Therefore, we want 120, 130 for ours because we believe he's better. Morgan Rogers, 23 years of age, scored 10 goals, provided 16 assists. Scored 10 goals and provided 6 assists. Last season, he scored 8 goals and provided 10 assists, something like that. So That was the 2024-2025 campaign. So he's brilliant. In terms of Elliot Anderson, you had the player with the most touches on the ball, up to 3,300 touches on the ball. He won possession back the most amount of times in the Premier League than any other player at 297. He drew the most fouls at 80 compared to any other player in the league. So really, it's all about that. Okay, it's at 3 a.m. Can I go or not? Maybe ghost the toilet. They're not ghosts. They're not ghosts in your washroom. So go knock yourself out, Techno. Go knock yourself out, Techno. So, anyways, like I said, Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, but predominantly Chelsea and Arsenal are the two teams that have been linked with the potential move for Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa. And remember, Aston Villa are in a really, really strong position with this one. I think the player still has about 3 years left with his current contract, and they do not want to sell. Remember, they qualified for the Champions League. So this is a club that already has a history of selling a player for £100 million to Manchester City. So they're going to be really pushy on that for any team that is interested in his services. Then, according to Sami Mokbel of BBC Sport, he says Arsenal have made an inquiry for Bournemouth midfielder Alex Scott, a rebuffed South Coast club, have no intention of selling and want to offer Scott a new deal. Now, this is what I've said constantly. Meanwhile, I said Charles Wenger is among those in the stands witnessing this game between Germany and Paraguay. It's been a bit of a dull game thus far. It's not offered us much so far. Shubham says Asian giant, Japan out of the World Cup. Yeah, very unfortunate there, Shubham. Quite early on in the competition. But I think they've lost out to a worthy opponent. They've lost out to a worthy opponent. If you, Shubham, were a boxer and you were put in the ring in years gone by and lost out to a Michael Tyson, a Lewis Lennox, a Muhammad Ali, and maybe more recently, Usyk or Anthony Joshua, you would say, I lost to a worthy opponent. I think that will be the case for Germany. Okay, let me first get more of your comments before we get back to the Alex Scott story. Give me your opinion on Nico Paz with Real Madrid activating their buyback clause. It's simply, first and foremost, the 21-year-old, I think 21, Argentine is such a brilliant young player, a number 10 kind role. He's one of the most creative players that there has been. He offers both creativity and pops up with the goals. I think he scored about 12 goals last campaign in the Italian Serie A. Meanwhile, the players have been summoned for the hydration break. And then I think he provided what? Was it 8 assists or about 8 assists thereabout in the Italian Serie A? So he was quite pivotal to Como making it to the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia. He was quite pivotal to them qualifying for Champions League football. And remember, they acquired him from Real Madrid, I think in the summer of 2024, for about 2 million euros. And then Real Madrid inserted in a buyback clause of about anywhere between 9 and 10 million euros. Widely, mostly been reported is 10 million euros, although some sources indicate 9. So now, Real Madrid had wanted to bring the player back, but then Jose Mourinho told them he's not going to use him. Like, yes, he's a good player, but he can't promise he's going to offer him playing time. So what Real Madrid did was the business, best thing to do business-wise, to say, okay, we're going to buy back the player and put him back on the market. So they exercise their right to buy him back and put him straight back on the market for 60 million euros as the reported asking fee for Fabrizio Romano. Now, I would want to believe that fee is less than that, because a day later, and Como were given first refusal, or at least first fail. In other words, I'll only sell to you unless you cannot meet my valuation of the product that I'm selling. So, because the player wanted to stay at Como, he loves Como, he loves working with Francisco Sola Fabregas. So, they did agree to a deal for Como to buy him permanently. Now, in buying him permanently, should Como look to sell in the future, Real Madrid have a buyback clause in that contract. They have a buyback clause in that contract. And it is also alleged that there could be a sell-on clause. In other words, a percentage sell-on clause, you know. So you must think of it in those terms. So basically, you buy the player back for about 10 million euros, and you put him back on the market for anywhere between 40 to 50. That's still, you know, quite a sizable profit. So they were simply protecting their business interests or maximizing their business interests in exercising that. Because I remember at the time, before Como came back and, you know, put in the offer to sign him, I was saying, if I'm Real Madrid, I buy him back, offer Como the opportunity to resign him on a season-long loan, and then maybe put him on sale the subsequent summer, you know, something like that, because they are protecting that investment to say if tomorrow they are without Jose Mourinho and they have a manager that would want to use Nico Paz at Real Madrid, they're simply going to, or if he's the next, let's say Mesut Ozil, for lack of a better 10, you know, reference, or maybe present-day Bruno Fernandes, they can simply say our buyback clause is what? Maybe 80 million euros. Let's resign the player back, something like that. Okay. I hope I've answered that. Are you giving me your socials today? That's United Road 10. That's a conversation. Viola Shubham says Argentina gonna defend the title. That's Shubham. Let's hope that will be the case. Although I think it is it's going to be quite the tussle because there's only two countries in the history of the World Cup, and the World Cup is 96 years old. Of course, there were editions missed in 1942 and 1946. Those two editions were missed because of World War. So, but in its 96-year history, only two countries have defended the accolade. That's Italy in 1934 and 1938. Then you have Brazil in 1958 and 1962. So let's see if let's see if Argentina are quite up to the challenge. Now, I've already seen some conspiracy theories from a cross section of fans of football who are saying the game seems to be scripted for Lionel Messi to win the World Cup again. Now, I do not know that to be true, but conspiracy theories will always be part of the game. That's the best I can say about that, you know. So we'll just have to wait and see how things go. But for those of you that root for Argentina, hope for the best. They've looked brilliant thus far, and Lionel Messi has been quite brilliant so far in the competition with a tally of what now? Is it 7 goals? You know, so really interesting stuff. Oh, okay. The referee is not going to have it. You must warranty it. So, anyways, I think he has what, 6? Uh-oh. So he has 6 goals, you know. So he scored in literally each and every fixture he's played in at the World Cup. So annexed to, and all those subsequent to him have 4 goals. Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Brad Erling Haaland, Ousmane Dembele, they all have 4 goals, you know. So he's done brilliantly well. Let's see. Cedric says, good evening. Daily Football Birthday says hi. Oh, Daily Football Birthdays. Okay. Interesting name. Got to go, everyone. See you in the next show. Tomorrow is a big game. Let's go Ivory Coast, hoping for the best. Then Cedric says, back in 1998, France faced Paraguay in the eighth finale and won thanks to a goal by Laurent Blanc. Major step on the way to the final against Brazil. Okay, thanks for that update and key facts. That's from Cedric. Viola says, is asking me to give United Road 10 her socials. Really? Viola, let me not use the phrase that I was about to use. Let me not use the phrase that I was about to use. Cedric says, apparently, Argentina has an easier path, but usually teams get better facing stronger teams than weaker ones. Honestly, I wish Argentina out, any team, but not Argentina. Okay, Tribe, do you have Viola's socials? United Road, for the time we've had this interaction, does it appear that I know Viola's socials? You know, because Viola is a chameleon. You know, Viola is a chameleon. He knows everything. That's Viola tying ears of a goat on me so that I can be eaten by the lion. Now we have a local saying, but I just loosely translated it to you. You know how somebody sets you up to be chewed. So she's basically setting me up. She has tied ears of a goat on me so that I'm enticing enough to be eaten by the lion. Okay, Laurent Blanc was a good servant for United. He was a center back in my first season supporting United. We won the Premier League. Wow. United wrote 10. In your first season, supporting Man United. Okay, interesting. That's the same team that had Didier Deschamps playing in that midfield. Players like Frank, he was called Frank what? I'm forgetting the other second name. It's a bit of a tricky name to pronounce. Rebelf, something like that. Marcel Desailly, that team, 98, Emmanuel Petit, Thierry Henry was in that squad as well. Okay. No, Lolo Vala is playing with me again. Well, if you don't work hard enough for it, you may not appreciate it when it eventually comes. You will be back for me, right? That's a Vala asking. You're naughty. I hope Maresca delivers. Wish him good luck. That's from Shimi. Yes, Enzo Maresca today was confirmed as the Manchester City head coach. But before we get to that, I wanted to speak a little more about the deal involving Alex Scott. Now, a lot of teams are interested in signing Alex Scott. Manchester United have explored the player. Arsenal have, and a couple of other teams. Now, Bournemouth do not want to sell. What Bournemouth really want, actually, yes, they do not want to sell, but more importantly, they want to renew his deal and insert a release clause, the way they did with Antoine Semenyo. They renewed his contract when he did not leave in the summer and inserted a release clause, and that's how he ended up leaving to Man City for about £61.5 million, thereabouts. And then they did the same thing. No, for Dean Hudson, he already had a release clause. They did something with another player. I'm forgetting. So they've been doing release clauses thus far. So I have a feeling that's the same thing they want. Now, obviously, they do not want to lose too many players, especially when they've just brought in a new manager in Marco Rose. So because he's not Andoni Raiola, his understanding of the current squad is not as the case was with Andoni Raiola. Now, also you ought to remember that because Bournemouth did qualify for European football and they're going to be playing in the UEFA Europa League, it requires that they have both quality in the squad and squad depth to help them compete favorably back in the Premier League and in the UEFA Europa League. So there's that. So their reasons are really genuine. But also on the other side, I do feel they need the money. Obviously, they're going to be generating more revenue with them participating in Europe to the extent of the UEFA Europa League, because um, they are revamping their stadium, they are redeveloping, they are expanding, I think, one of the stands. So maybe they need the resources. But last time I remember, they rid themselves of Ilya Zabani, Dean Hansen, Milos Kakes, Dango Ouattara. All those are players that generated, lots of revenue for them. And subsequently, Antoine Semenyo. So, and you never know who else is going to leave. But possibly, if some of these big teams push hard enough, maybe they could find a crack in the opening. Maybe the player does request to leave because sometimes the opportunity presents itself once. Remember the story of Danny drinking water when he left Leicester City and joined Chelsea? Obviously, at Chelsea, it never worked out for him. But that's to say, you never know what tomorrow brings. So, but Alex Scott is one of those players that Arsenal have explored signing. They also made inquiries and submitted a bid through intermediaries in the region of £55 million to try and sign Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. So they are looking to find a body in that area, and there's an expectation that Christian Nogard will leave the club this summer. So, okay. You said Semenyo was denied a penalty against England because they wanted England to finish top of the group and get their usual easy route. Manipulation. Well, it doesn't appear that easy the way you and I have been following the tournament. I don't think you could pass DRC Congo for easy. Yes, on paper they'll look easy. On paper they'll look easy, definitely, against a team with the quality and depth of England. But it won't. Trust me, Sebastian Desabre is not going to make it easy for them. And I've said this before, without any fear of contradiction. I don't know. I don't want to think it is more wishful than it is objective. But I'd want to think objectively that based on what I've seen, DRC are capable of causing an upset. Imagine how it would slap if England were to be eliminated from the tournament at the round of 32. And more importantly, at the hands of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a country that many have never even heard of, to say the least. When I say many, I mean perhaps people from the UK. Okay. I'll be back. No, I've had enough. I'll be back for only football. But a football tribe told you before, you didn't hear. Lying is not good. Okay. Well, says she's not lying. Archie Morrison says hello. Hello. You say hello, Uganda. Hello, Archie Morrison. Why are you joining us from Morrison? Good to have you on the podcast. I think it is my first time having you here, but it's a pleasure to have you around. Kindly like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel, and forget not to partake in tonight's poll question, where we ask who will win tonight, German versus Paraguay. Do you think the Germans will win or Paraguay will win? So far, 11 votes cast, and nobody thinks that Paraguay will do the unthinkable. Okay. I'm trying to be like Nigerian women. Viola, how are Nigerian women? Indulge me on that one. How are they? Jesus Christ. You spoke of Nigerian women and you reminded me of In Edo, Genevieve Naji, back in the days when we used to enjoy Nigerian movies, and then subsequently we got to enjoy Nigerian music with Tiwa Savage, one of the stars coming out fast, really. So, yeah, maybe we have something to appreciate about Nigeria after all. But your insinuations regarding Nigerian women, that one is not, I'm not so familiar with. Uh, okay, so like I said, today, Enzo Maresca was confirmed as the new manager for Manchester City, and the hope is high. The anticipation or the expectation is that people will wish him well, especially the Chelsea fans who still liked him, and we'll see how he performs. But obviously, he really, really has big shoes to fill. Rafinha to Paris FC, yes. Paris FC are in talks with Liam Rafinha over, the role at Paris FC. But for Enzo Maresca, of course, he did speak out saying it was his decision to leave Chelsea, and that's why eventually, by the way, Chelsea had to pay Man City the compensation. You remember when I was explaining that because it was Enzo Maresca that opted out of his contract, it was not Chelsea paying him, but any club that ought to take him within a certain period post him leaving Chelsea had to pay Chelsea compensation. So that's what's basically happened. I'm trying to look for that statement from Enzo Maresca when he was officially confirmed as the new head coach for Manchester City. But Man City are paying in the excess of 17 million pounds as compensation for him to be joining them. So he did put pen to paper on a 3-year contract. That's until June 2029. So for him to be at the helm of Manchester City, Paraguay, and it's a goal, 1-0 for Paraguay. Julio Enciso is the goal scorer. Brilliant. Paraguay 1, Germany 0. And there'll be a hard nut to crack. Now that they've taken the lead, Julian Nagelsmann can hardly believe it. Quite brilliant. The Germans have been stunned. A brilliant cross. Nobody's tracking him as he enters in that penalty area. They all watch on because it's a recycled ball from the set piece. And brilliant. Manuel Neuer could only watch as it went into the back of the net. Even Japan scored fast. That's from Viola. Yes. There's that common adage, and we used to use it a lot of times for teams that we were rooting for, of the woman or the lady is the first one to test the sauce, and then the man eats. So, in a way, in football, we would say the weaker team was the first to test the goodies of the game, and then the other team came on to win. Okay. So Enzo Maresca on Manchester City said Manchester City is a club I know very well, and to have the chance to manage this team is a brilliant opportunity for me. City is an incredibly well-run football club. Everything they do is innovative, planned, and purposeful. Remember, he was at Manchester City as Pep Guardiola's assistant in the 2022-2023 campaign. So he was part of that treble-winning season. When the Manchester City won the FA Cup, the UEFA Champions League, and the Premier League title before moving on to Leicester City, where he worked with them, won the Sky Bet Championship, and guided them to promotion back in the Premier League, and then moved to Chelsea, where he spent a season and a half, and then he stepped away. So that's Enzo Maresca. So he did say this about Chelsea. This was from Chelsea. Basically, Chelsea were appreciating him for the role he played in their success and his stint while there, because remember, in that 1.5 years, he did win them the UEFA Conference League title as well as the FIFA Club World, title. So he won that. So in Enzo Maresca's words about Chelsea, he said that the decision to leave was only mine. My resignation from Chelsea opened a path for me to join Manchester City, which is a club I know very well. I'm ecstatic that I have now joined Manchester City. And then he said, I recognize that my departure from Chelsea in the middle of the season caused disruption for the club, and I apologize for that. It was neither my intention nor my wish. So basically, Manchester City had been quoting Enzo Maresca for quite some time. And because Chelsea, and by the way, in Chelsea's school of thought, the Man City are one of the reasons as to why Enzo Maresca did resign from his job. It's a case of working in a place, and then there's this company that is offering you a job, saying, if you join us, this is what we're going to do for you. How much are you being paid that side? And you say maybe $500. And they say, we'll double your pay. We'll put you on $1,000 or $1,200. And then, we'll give you a car, we'll give you accommodation and all these fringe benefits. You'll have 1 month of paid leave. They'll speak all enticing things to you. And then you tender in your resignation and join the other company. So, so in a way, Chelsea were convinced that whereas there were other reasons that compelled Enzo Maresca to step down, Chelsea, Man City were a key part of that. But before we continue with the Enzo Maresca story, let me take some of your comments. Okay. Where did I stop with your comments? Hill Cup says hi. Okay. Shimi says it will end like the Japan game. I think he was speaking about this game between German and Paraguay. The Germans are not creating enough. Felix Mencha having an attempt deflected out, but not on target. Let's first watch this corner from Joshua Kimmich and see if the Germans can restore parity, because we're already into stoppage time of the first stanza. Ball is cleared away. So, Shimi saying, inshallah. Okay, United Road says, well, it doesn't want me to go. This is the worst German team. That's from United Road 10 in a long time. Well, somebody said they're not very balanced. To be fair, for most teams, by the way, when you compare the talent, the level of talent they have today and in years gone by, definitely you're going to find that mismatch in terms of overall quality, in a way. So you're going to experience that. Okay. Tokyo Body says, yo, I'm back. Oh, you say you're at work. I thought you were saying you're back. Tokyo Body is one of those Tokyo Boy is one of those guys that pop up every once in a while and render us his support. But thank you so much, Tokyo Boy. I hope you're doing well and have been well for the time you've been absent. That's true. Translate to me, love. United Road. Vara is saying go and sleep. I don't know if you're going to sleep or now I know why she's saying go and sleep. In other words, she's trying to say you guys should go and sleep. As a couple, you go and sleep, you guys. So that's what she meant. As in the pair of you, not just you. So, anyways, I've stopped translating. Vala's told me not to translate. So I'll leave issues of the genus to the genus. I'll not let a cat, sorry, I'll not let a hyena participates in the conversation of the cats. I'll leave it to the lions and leopards of the jungle. Okay, so as we wrap up on the Enzo Maresca story, you know, so anyways, Enzo Maresca on what? Sorry. This is going to be interesting, you know. You know, when a manager leaves one club in the Premier League and goes to the next, and especially this sounds a bit new, where a manager leaves a club as big as Chelsea and then joins a club as big upcomingly as Man City. So it's going to be interesting because in Chelsea's statement about Enzo Maresca, they said, as they summarized it, anyway, the game has headed into halftime. Julio Enciso's goal remains what separates the two sides. The Germans must be rushing to the dressing room to pull out that blackboard for Julian Nagelsmann to do a lot of screaming at some of his players, because it's been that sort of odd, dull game-ish. I don't know. I like games that are back and forth, you know, end-to-end kind of football, but it is what it is. So, anyways, I think Chelsea said this, looking forward to next season, in Xabi Alonso, we have a manager who has an exceptional football mind and is a professional of the highest integrity. He has all the attributes to deliver success the club's supporters deserve and expect. Now, that statement, or the closing remarks of Chelsea's statement about Enzo Maresca, in a way, seem to be taking a swipe at Enzo Maresca. Now, what do I mean by that? Is that is because Sino Bueno is saying, I hate this match. Why? Viola, Sino Bueno is a Chelsea fan. For those of you that remember, Sino Bueno is the guy who tinted his hair red after Arsenal won the Premier League title because he bet with his cousins that Arsenal cannot win the Premier League title. He's a bit short, a bit slim. Imagine a Chinese kind of size man, fairly short, you know, hair tinted red, greenish eyes. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. So, in a way, Chelsea appear to be taking a swipe at Enzo Maresca when they say, looking forward to next season, in Xabi Alonso, we have a manager with an exceptional football mind. Is that to say that Enzo Maresca's football mind wasn't exceptional? I think if I'm Maresca, I'm taking that personal. And every time I meet Chelsea, I'll be looking to bang them. Okay. And of the highest integrity. Is that to suggest that, Maresca has no integrity? And he says, and then they say he has all the attributes to deliver success the club's supporters deserve and expect. Anyways, we'll leave that at that and move on to move on to some revert back to some of your comments. Okay. He already told me the truth. Let's go. Yeah, United vote, carry on, carry your partner in crime, and we wish you the best of luck. Maresca is facing a lot of backlash with regards to the City move. Why is he facing a lot of backlash? I mean, you see, at Manchester City, he's going to have a certain level of authority that he did not have at Chelsea, a certain level of control on how certain things get done. And it's not to say that at Chelsea did not have any. It's simply to say that his powers at Man City are going to supersede those that he had at Chelsea. Now, again, really at Man City, he's not going to have veto powers, but he will have powers to decide certain things, So, and I'll give you an example. Signing Elliot Anderson is not Enzo Maresca's decision at Manchester City. Man City have long wanted to sign Elliot Anderson. So that's not his decision, because there are some decisions that are made by the club, even at Manchester City, but he will have a say in things that get done, at the Etihad Stadium. So I don't know what backlash he's receiving, but I do not think, I may want to think it is a bit misplaced. You're cheating. I have a feeling Pep is still the big boss, though, but as overseer, let's say today, okay, the ambassador role he apparently took sounds like the undercover. Sounds like, do you mean to say Sir Alex Ferguson post Manchester United in 2013? In that sort of sense, in a way? Is that what you're inferring to? Okay. Ah, okay. Bye. I got a new man from Chelsea. I already knew it. Hi, Sino Bueno. Okay, that's from Viola. Shimi says Haaland, Semenyo, Olise all born in England and could have represented England. Just imagine how the front line would be for England. Well, for Semenyo, they did not give him a chance. Olise chose to play for France, and Semenyo was an afterthought. So by that point, he had chosen Ghana. So it is what it is. But I would want to think that maybe when it came to Michael Olise, maybe they did not try hard enough or do enough to convince him. There, I already knew Chelsea love loading. Hello, okay. Good luck, Viola and Sino Bueno. Oh, United wrote 10. Before you say good luck to Viola and Sino Bueno is married. Sino Bueno is married with a child and expecting the second. And I don't think his father-in-law would approve of this suggested relationship. So if I were you, I'd stick around. Vala is only saying that for jokes. Okay. At a United Road and easy. Sino Bueno, thank you for supporting my team. If German loses, I'm gonna change. Sino Bueno is saying if German loses, he's gonna change village. Why? Tell us more. Why would you want to change the village just because German lost a game of football? Sino Bueno is this passionate football fan that has strong conviction in his ideas and his sort of visions or anticipations or predictions, that he goes hard when it comes to making predictions. He's the kind of person who will tell you, I'll give you 1,000 Indian rupees if, let's say, Paraguay win this game. And it does come, he meets his end of the bargain when it comes to honoring bets, for lack of a better example. Okay, let me get to your message types. Okay. So Sino Bueno, tell us, why do you want to change your village? Lolo, I'm not translating anymore. Hey, Robert, how are you doing? That's from Chipes. Chipes joins us from Mexico. Hi, Chipes. I hope you're doing okay. Viola is overworking me with translator. Sorry about that. If Mexico wins the match, we will be against Brazil. Is that the matchup? It wasn't to the best of my recollection. I need to have a look at that chart. And I hope I did not misfire with it. I thought whoever goes through Brazil, okay, Brazil having gone through, would meet either Ivory Coast or Norway. That was my understanding of the draw, but I stand to be corrected. I stand to be corrected. Meanwhile, the second half gets underway in just a bit. The second half gets underway in just a bit. Winner of 78. Anyways, let me go through more of your comments. Okay. I thought you're sleeping. Yes, exactly. Like SAF Sino Bueno says, I'm a third generation Chelsea fan. My granddad, my dad, and I support Chelsea. Wow, quite interesting. Viola is a first generation Chelsea fan in her lineage, to the best of my knowledge, anyway. But more football on field input than SF. Okay, do not translate. I'm going now. See you tomorrow for Ivory Coast game. Do not miss me too much. Okay, that's I think that's for Viola. Paraguay may win today. That's from Chipes. Hopefully they do. Oh, sorry. No, she already went with him. I don't want second choice. I don't love his family. I love Sino Bueno. I'm scared of Viola now after that statement. Viola, you want to be treated to... Oh, Viola, you don't want Patience Ozuku to be your mother-in-law? United Road is a son to Patience Ozuku. You don't want her to be your mother-in-law? Okay. You've lost my trust. Sino Bueno says, I'm the only German fan among my village. Everybody is an England fan. Jesus Christ. Sino Bueno, why do you always want to be unique? You're the only person with red hair in your village and at your workplace. Now you're the only German fan. Jesus Christ. This is from Preneth says, cuteness overload. No, United Road 10. Oh, United Road 10 is number 1. Sino Bueno is number 2. I need number 3 and 4. United Road 10, what Simply Viola is saying, she's polyandra. She wants to practice polyandra. So if you're willing to join the farm, park in the queue. Raymond Kangumba says PIF or the private investment fund do not have money for Newcastle. I don't believe that to be true. And news number 1. German will win the game tonight. Good night. See you tomorrow. That's from Raymond Kangumba. Don't worry, tomorrow game soon we'll meet here. Rolo, I want to be unique than others. Sino Bueno, I told you, yes, you want to be unique, but the next time you're going to end up having to go to work in a skirt and a top and high heels just because you lost a bet and you want to be unique. So, meanwhile, German are introducing Leon Goretzka in that midfield. Let's see who they are withdrawing. Oh, is that what she meant? So I was excited saying Sui for nothing. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. United Road 10. Do not mind me. Do not mind me. Ozuku, United Road 10, explain this. I thought I was just first choice. End of story. Your first choice. End of story. She's a famous Nollywood actress, Lolo, and usually a very evil mother-in-law. Vela says, Sino Bueno says, a bet is a bet. Now, Vala is saying, I'm going to spoil Sino Bueno and shut up. I don't know how she's going to spoil Sino Bueno and then shut up. A bet is a bet. Well, keep honoring the bets. It means you're man of your word. The next bet you should place is for you to go to work in a dress and high heels and while wearing a wig and makeup. So that's the next bet that you should make. I don't know who you're going to make the bet with, but that should be the one. Iran Pandi says Virati Kohli is dead. Oh, really? Is that the case? I haven't heard of such news. I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe that to be true. So, Iran, please do not mislead people. Now, marry me. Virati Kohli will be in our hearts forever, greatest cricket player in history. Sino Bueno says, I'm a Catholic, Robert. I can't impersonate a woman. No. It has nothing to do with your religion or your beliefs as Catholic or otherwise. I'm not saying convert to a woman. I'm simply saying place a bet that should you lose the bet, then you'll dress as such. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, you know? Okay, maybe no wig, just makeup and a dress and high heels. And then we see, because I want to ask AI to draw for me that picture when I describe that. Felix Mencha has been withdrawn for Leon Goretzka to play alongside Alexander Pavlovich in that midfield. 6%. My wife would kill me before I go out. So we will organize the wedding only on tribe streams. Yeah. Meanwhile, somebody thinks Paraguay are going to win this game. Finally, out of 14 votes cast, 93% of you think Germany is going to win. 1% thinks Paraguay is going to win. Let's see if the minority will have it. So we can start planning the wedding. Where do you want it to happen? In Abuja, in Lagos, or in Kampala, Uganda? I'd suggest you have it in Kampala, Uganda. That way I can get the chance to attend. Not in South Africa because they may kick us out for being foreigners from the black continent. I've had enough. Good night. Before you go United Road 10, let's plan this wedding. I intend to be no service provider, but I can render my planning services to you, and we see. I don't know what religion you both pray to. We can laze. We can have a beach wedding, an outdoor ceremony, and with the powers vested in me, I therefore pronounce you husband and wife. Sino Bueno says, no cheating. I'm happily married and I have one kid. She's flirting with Sino Bueno. It's cancelled. I told you Sino Bueno is married with a child and expecting second. So don't worry. Sino Bueno is not going to compete with you at any front, at any one point. And I know for a fact that Viola is simply trying to deflect any cementing feelings that could be eating out, that could be settling at the bottom of her heart, in a way. That's how I'd want to think of it. So, anyways, the second half is resumed and Germany are trying to push. So, with Enzo Maresca joining Manchester City, Elliot Anderson will be formally be announced as Man City's first signing of the summer. The Nets have completed all formalities for Harry Wilson to become their first signing of the summer. Wilson will sign a 4-year deal until June 2030. I think Fulham have lost quite a player. Lolo, you must confirm what you said, if that's true. You just need to read between the lines. Then I told you about Hayden Hackney joining Everton from Middlesbrough. That deal is sealed between all parties, and formalities of are expected to take place in terms of medical and announcements. An initial £16.5 million will go to Middlesbrough, plus £8 million in expected add-ons. Then Juventus are interested in signing Randall Colomwani and on a permanent deal. So those negotiations are ongoing. Then the Juventus CEO, Cannavelli, did confirm in a way their interest in Dubi Martinez or Emiliano Martinez of Aston Villa, the Argentine 32-year-old goalkeeper, that they want to sign, but should they fail, they could turn their attention to Guillermo Vicario, who is also of interest to Inter Milan as well. Meanwhile, Julio Enciso is giving these Germans a bit of a headache. I just feel there's lack of creativity in this German team. They're not creating enough chances. Leroy Sané is failing to hack it. Flanvitz is not delivering. That was a bit of an awkward back pass. Julio Enciso almost caught. He did get there ahead of Manuel Neuer, but it was a brilliant piece of goalkeeping from the experienced German goalkeeper. So anyways, those are some of the big deals. And then, of course, Carlos Casemiro will be joining Inter Miami after the World Cup. And then, what's his name? Robert Lewandowski will be joining Chicago Fire in the Major League Soccer. So another big move for another big player. Yep, and it's a boy again. He will come to this world in August. My wife wants another one after 4 years. Won't stop until there is a girl. Sino bueno. Be careful what you wish for. You may end up with 7 boys before you get the girl. So, but anyways, I wish you the best of luck. May your prayers and dreams come true eventually. It's a bad German team, even for this generation. Okay, why so quiet? I don't know, but yeah, they're just lacking that creative spark. Throughout the entire course of this game, I've watched them, and I still wonder where their goal is going to come from. Like, forget who is going to put the ball in the back of the net, but who is going to create that, chance that gives them the opportunity to put it in the back of the net. And they are up against this Paraguay side. It's a bit of a workaholic. They sit in and dig in deep and defend really, really well. So you must find some intricate play to get beyond them. Well, says I'm here. Make it make it 11 so that I can make a team. For as long as you have the means to take care of your family, you can have as many as you want. For as long as your wife can give them to you, you can have as many as you want. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, Sino Bueno. And by the way, you can't just make a football team without substitutes. You must add a bonus of 2 to 3 for the team to have substitutes, just in case one of them gets injured. Unless it's a volleyball team, because in volleyball you have 6 players. No, is it 6? No, actually 5 players on the court, and then you can have 6 substitutes on the bench. Then if it's basketball, same story. Then what other sport? If it's netball, how many netball players are on a pitch at a single time? Is it 6? Oh, and it's a goal. The ball is flicked on by Kai Havertz into the back of the net, and German have their equalizer. Ball floated into the danger area. Was it by Leon Goska? And all he had to do was put a flick onto it, and it hit the back of the net. Kai Havertz, big player for the big moments. It wasn't but Leon Goska, the cross, but Kai Havertz with a beautiful flick and straight into the back of the net. That's what they needed to do, to come up with something different, something unique, as opposed to trying to, go for intricate play. Sino Bueno, this game is giving Brazil-Japan vibes. That's from Shimi. But at least Brazil were not just dominant with the ball, but they were trying. They're going up there. They were creating the chances, just not scoring. Sino Tribe, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, United. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have you around. Your company, in conjunction with Viola, is invaluable, to say the least. Is invaluable, to say the least. German are trying to push for that second as soon as possible. Spaghetti Dude says we will win this. Is that Team German or Team Paraguay? Just put your vote in the poll question. Just put your vote in the poll question as well as in the comment section. It's for Havertz. Yes, I have the money, but no money can offer me to cheat. Okay. Thanks. That's from United Port. Uh-huh. Well, United Road is out there blushing now. Now that you've said that out loud, right? He's out there blushing. He he cannot believe what his eyes are reading. As he goes to bed tonight, he's going to be a very, very happy man. I've been a lifelong German fan. That's up from Spaghetti Dude. I thought you were a lifelong Paraguay fan. Viola, what do you mean? What do you mean United? What do you mean Sino Bueno doesn't want to enjoy? Jesus Christ. Guys, German 1, Paraguay 1. That's still the scoreline. Julian Chiso needing a bit of treatment there. Kai is still my boy. He gave me Chelsea. He gave Chelsea the second UEFA Champions League title. I think, by the way, I think Chelsea fans will always have a sort of a love relationship with Kai Havertz, regardless of where his legacy may stand or status within the Chelsea ranks. But that Champions League goal gave him all the legacy that you would need at a football team to be remembered for the rest of your life. Okay. United Road is going to be out there fantasizing and, sort of doing all sorts of imaginations. See Christ Viola, he gives me joy every single second. One and only United Road. Lolo, let me just go sleep. United Road 10, just like that, without reciprocating what you're, unless you're saying you don't feel the same way. I don't want to think so, No, I don't want trouble. Tribe. What do you mean you don't want trouble? They've told you the three most important words. The three most important words. What more would you want? And then in those three important words, there's a lot that you can interpret from that. It's like the good night of all good nights. It's like the sweet dreams of all sweet dreams message and everything in that line, whatever you can think of. Josh Allen says, my neighbor's dog got taken to the vet and put to sleep because I kept shitting in the garden and blaming it on him. He's got only one leg. Hi, Josh Allen. Good to have you in the broadcast. She is sounding dangerous, Lolo. What do you mean sounding dangerous? Oh, there's that song by the say. Was it by Akon? This girl is so dangerous, something like that. So, Sino Bueno, do you know how people enjoy cheating? Jesus Christ. Well, tell us more. How do they enjoy it? I'm here hoping against hope that this game does not go into extra time, because the next game is at 4 a.m. I'd love to watch that game that kicks out at 4 a.m. It's 54 minutes past midnight. So we'll have, I don't know, some little time in between to get to it. Lolo tribe needed a sip after hearing that. I mean, ah. And I needed to digest it mentally. I needed to digest that one mentally. Nathaniel Brown tackling somebody to the ground as we into the 62nd minutes. Miguel Almiron hasn't looked so great thus far. It's a deep cross, can't keep it in. I don't cheat, I'm just trying to be like the Nigerian woman. Tell us about Nigerian women. Dennis Undav has been withdrawn for Jamal Musiala. Let's see if it will be Jamal Musiala that will make the difference. Okay. Out of 17 votes cast, 88% of you say Germany will win, and 12% of you say Paraguay will win. What kind of shenanigans are going on there? It's just a poor game. It's not much to it. The Germans are playing quite a high line. The distance between their goalkeeper and the rest defense is so high. Kubas has been booked for foul. Andres Kubas for a foul on Kai Havertz. Germans do not have a dead ball specialist. Appears to be an on-pitch rower. Somebody laughed that Brazil needed a goal and they were bringing on Gabriel Martinelli. Guess who had the last laugh? Gabriel Martinelli. Because he scored the match winner. Sino Bueno says, my dad is asking, have you been a Brazilian fan since your little Robert? Yes. Since 2002, I've been Brazilian fan. and maybe even slightly before, because there's something about Brazilians that was really, really likable. And that was before they even won the 2002 World Cup. So Brazil all the way, all the way. Uh-oh. We are headed into nearly the 70th minute and still have no way through. And still have no way through. We still are yet to have a way through for, I mean, meanwhile, Barcelona made an inquiry about the availability of Harry Kane because they are interested in signing him. However, reports do suggest that he may sign a new contract with Bayern Munich. And this speaks to, we've had that conversation before. We've had that conversation before regarding Barcelona's interest in a striker and who they would ordinarily go for. You know, we spoke of their options. We did not rule out Harry Kane, but I just do not see how Bayern Munich let Harry Kane leave. Say no goal? Nah, not yet. The game is still as dull as you'd have had it. Sino Bueno is saying, my elders are England fans because Sarawak was colonized by the British. My dad was 12 when England won the 1966 World Cup. He had it through the radio. Jesus Christ. It's been now what? 60, let me see. 60 years since then? Since the one? Players are being summoned for the hydration break. I mean, yeah, for many of us, radio introduced us to football long before TV came to mind. Long before TV came to mind. Radio introduced us to professional football, you know? So, meanwhile, let's go through the transfer gossip and speculation as during the water break. England captain Harry Kane, 32, will sign a new contract at Bayern Munich despite interest from Barcelona. That's according to the Athletic. So, looks like Barcelona will have to turn their attention elsewhere, and well knowing that Atletico de Madrid are reluctant to let go of Julian Alvarez to join them. Then they say the appointment of Enzo Maresca at Manchester City could lead to a major rebuild with England fullback Rico Lewis, 21, Netherlands defender Nathan Aki, 31, Spanish midfielder Nico Gonzalez, and Portugal defender Ruben Diaz, 29, Brazilian winger Savinho, all potentially up for sale. That's according to the Mail. Now, for Nico Gonzalez, I've had those rumors. For Savinho, we're not Tottenham are interested. For Nathan Ake, there could be interest from some Italian teams. Ruben Diaz, yeah, Saudi Pro League may come calling, but even other top clubs. But I mean, how do you rid yourself of Ruben Diaz when you only have, yes, you have Mackey, you have Kushanov, you have Joshko Vadio, but you can still use him, you know? That Manchester City are ready to hijack Tottenham's move for Newcastle and Italy midfielder Sandro Tonali, 26, despite having already agreed to sign 23-year-old England midfielder Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest. That's according to Marca in Spanish. Then AC Milan are ready to bid £21.5 million for England midfielder Mason Mount, 27, but Manchester United do not want to sell him. That's according to the Mail. Hull City are set to sign Rangers goalkeeper Jack Butland, 33, with Krot Ivo Pandu, 26, heading in the opposite direction as part of a swap deal to bring the Englishman back to the Premier League. That's according to the Sun. Chelsea have identified Rayo Vallecano's Spanish left-back, Pep Chavaria, 28, as the man to replace 27-year-old Spanish fullback Marc Cucurella after his sale to Real Madrid. That's according to Marca in Spain. Then Borussia Dortmund midfielder Felix Mencha, 25, is ready to reject a move from Newcastle as he prefers a switch to Manchester United. That's according to Bild via Sport Witness. Then Bayern Munich winger Michael Olise is aware that several clubs, including Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain, are keeping an eye on his performances for the French at the World Cup, with the 24-year-old set to meet with the German side after the tournament to discuss his future. That's according to AS in Spanish. And then RB Leipzig say Ivory Coast winger Yan Diomande will remain at the club next season, despite the 19-year-old reportedly choosing Paris Saint-Germain as his next destination. That's according to Florian Plettenberg of Sky German. So that's those are some of the updates in terms of transfer gossip and speculation as you'd have it. I'll be back. Vala is saying the game is not ending and it's not that entertaining. Indeed, it's not that entertaining. Let's hope the game between Netherlands and Morocco will live to the bidding. Shino Bueno says, my dad and uncle smashed the TV when England lost Euros against Italy. And who compensated for the loss? As in, who replaced the TV? Jesus Christ. Should we get Marcus Rashford, Jordan Sancho, and Bukayo Saka to raise money for 100-inch TV, high-sense TV as a replacement? Because they did miss penalties. Not that I hold it against them, but you know. So Sino Bueno, who replaced the TV? That's just a poor ball. Paraguay need to be a little more adventurous. I feel Germany is there for the taking. If Paraguay score fast, and there may not be a way back. The one thing I'm not hoping for, praying for, wishing for at this World Cup is extra time. Not one bit. Especially not with this quality of football. And here they come, Paraguay. Oh, he was offside anyway. Sino says my cousin and I did. I hope this time round you've agreed that whenever they are watching England play, all portable objects will be put away, glasses, cups, beer bottles. Oh, that was a brilliant header. The Paraguay goalkeeper is forced into a save. Gil is forced into a save by Kai Havertz. So, I don't know if you have the small balls. We used to call them tenors that our kids play with. I hope you've put away all things that they can easily throw at the TV. You're even allowed to withdraw their mobile phones because somebody may easily throw their mobile phone into the screen. We told them no more if they break this one. My wife won a lucky draw last year, 6.65-inch Samsung Smart TV. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. 65 is a good size screen. I want to transition from a 32 to something bigger. There's a free kick for the Germans here. Ah. Uh-oh. The dead ball delivery is not good. It's Germans. Dead ball delivery is not good. So I can imagine what you are having to go through, Sino Bueno, with, with German on the verge of exit here. Apo was going outside. Why did the defender head it back into play? Ever since Jamal Musiala came on, I'm yet to see what his impact has been. Here he comes. Paraguay clear. There's a sense of urgency from the Germans. Abo goes begging. Joshua Kimmich is still good. It's largely been one-way traffic for this game, with Germans, the attacking side, and Paraguay on the receiving end of the attacks, as would have been expected. But But that cutting edge is still missing. That's just a poor pass. Poor pass. Come on. Why are you even doing what are you even doing playing from the back? In the end, they just gave it away. They're all struggling with those final third balls. And I still feel a bit of a slowness to the game. But now the Germans will be quickly getting it forward as soon as possible. Here they come, Kai Havertz. Is it true that Arsenal got sanctioned? Just got the news by my cousins. Got sanctioned for what? Like sanctioned for what exactly? Hope you're not talking about George Graham, who got sanctioned back in 1995. Yeah. With the way Germans have lacked that cutting edge, you say UEFA have confirmed that in addition to sanctioning Paris Saint-Germain, Arsenal have also incurred punishment for supporter behavior during the UEFA Champions League final. I wouldn't be surprised any bit about that because sometimes, unbeknown to us or for what is not shown on cameras, fans get rowdy out there, exchanges. You remember the final? Was it the final? It was Liverpool versus what? Was it Liverpool? Was it the final though? There's a game in which Liverpool fans got into it. And they have that history, by the way. You remember in there's a brawl they got into with either AC Milan or Juventus fans in the 90s, and it led to Premier League clubs being banned from UEFA competitions, you know. So you could have that. Could be the case. So yeah. Uh-oh. Yes, it was called the Hazel disaster. As we're looking for the right word, the Hazel disaster in Belgium. It happened in Belgium. So finals are synonymous with a bit of chaos, especially from opposing fans. Remember what happened at Wembley between England and Italy, So those things, unfortunately, tend to happen. They tend to happen. The 90s were crazy. Sad that I wasn't born in that time and era. Well, there's a former Arsenal manager called George Graham who was sanctioned by the FA. He received an unsolicited gift from a Rune something. He was a Norwegian agent for a transfer of two players that had joined Arsenal at the time. So he got sanctioned, and then after serving his ban, he then joined Millwall. TBE 2304 says, hello, greetings from Poland. Hello, good evening. Joining us from Poland, Nick Voltmada is being brought on for Leroy Sané. The towering Nick Voltmada or Waltermaid has been brought on for Leroy Sané. Oh, you're saying where are you from? I'm from Uganda, Kampala, Uganda. I don't know if you're familiar with the geographics, but small landlocked country in the eastern part of Africa called Uganda. So that's the place. In case you need to Google it, the flop is coming in. Yeah, the flop is coming in. The Newcastle striker from Stuttgart. Uh-oh. TBE, that's where I'm from, Kampala, Uganda. Have you ever heard of Uganda, TBE? Let me ask you. Have you ever heard of Uganda? Its capital is Uganda, yes. Yes, okay, that's interesting. Have you ever visited, had the opportunity to visit? You'd be surprised that I have uncles supporting Newcastle still stuck in the Shearer era. Let me ask you, Sino Bueno, if Chelsea became the Newcastle of today, would you stop supporting them? Musiala was looking for a cutback to Kai Havertz but could not get to it. Here they come again. We're into the 5 minutes of added time. Remember the game involving South Africa, we got the goal in added time of the second half. That's when we got the goal from Esqui. So imagine if the Germans were to knock it in here. I just read extra time. You say I've never been there, but I was nearby in Kenya. Okay, that's interesting. Kenya is a good country, beautiful country, but Uganda just as beautiful, if not even better. But yeah, find some time and visit Uganda. You'll be surprised that, okay. So, Sino Bueno, would you stop supporting Chelsea if today Chelsea sort of digressed? Manuel Neuer wanted to do the throw in by himself. Jesus Christ. Unemployment, final boss, OMG. Unemployment. What do you mean? Yeah, unemployment final boss. You know, it's quite interesting. Um, I would still support Chelsea. If Chelsea cease to exist, then I'll support Swansea. Well, your uncles also still have a reason to support Newcastle, maybe. Um, TB says overall, Africa as a whole is beautiful and an interesting continent. Thank you. Um, visit sometime. Visit sometime and come and enjoy. Oh, and come and enjoy the Kampala weather. Could shine in the morning and rain in the afternoon. And come and visit some really, really beautiful places. Come and have the Rolex that is not the watch from Switzerland. So it's that as well. Then Swansea is your second family. Wow, interesting, interesting. I mean, for the neutral football fans, they did enjoy watching Swansea, especially the Swansea City that was under the charges of Brandon Rogers. I remember at the time we used to call it Swancelona. Why? Because they played tic-tac football, distributed the ball like Barcelona. So we called it Swancelona. Vala says, I'm back now. Go. You say you're back and still no goal. Yeah, no goal still. We're into the final minutes almost of the added time, and we still do not have a breakthrough. And I hate extra time. Put the ball in the box. Uh-oh. Looks like we are destined for some extra time. Didi, Mace, tell him to come and see. What makes you think, well, it's a he? TB, TBE, are you he or she? Uh, you say Loudrop is Swansea is one of the best football I've ever seen. I have met and have a picture with Michu when I was in Thailand for holiday. Oh, okay. Interesting. They had players like Nathan Dyer at the time. Really, really interesting team. Is he at Caterpillar? Is he? Why is Manuel Neuer even stretching? He's had very little to do in this game. Very little to do in this game thus far, you know? And yet we have to see it through. There's a German fan out here who looks more Asian than the Asians themselves. I don't know. I'm suffering from dry lips today. Quite huge stadium. Almost filled to capacity. I don't know. I don't have a good appreciation for stadiums that do not have covered stands. Now I can see one section of the stand is suffering from that direct sunlight. I want that Swansea back. I'm not sure you'll get it back. The same way you will not get back the Chelsea of 2012, 2010, you know? So you can wish for it. But I don't think you'll get it back. There's an Arsenal fan out here donning an Arsenal jersey, dancing. Miguel Almiron being withdrawn for defender. Looks like Uruguay may want to take this into penalties. You know, sorry, Paraguay. If you cannot beat Paraguay in normal time, may as well be knocked out. You may as well be knocked out, Julian Nagelsmann. What's the referee waiting for? There's a lot of dumb people on the internet. Paraguay is parking a plane. They're not even parking the bus. They're parking an entire plane. Spurs continue in talks with Sandro Tonali and are optimistic the Italian wants to join. Roberto Di Zerbi is understood to be a key factor in his decision-making process. Man City and Arsenal also hold interests. How I wish we still had the golden goal era. Whoever scores first, gets gets to win the game. But now we have to sit through an entire boring 30 minutes, especially when the game is not as entertaining. But in the golden goal era, whoever scored first in extra time got the goal, got the win. When was the golden goal withdrawn from the competition? I'm not too particularly sure, but at some point they decided. But at some point they decided that no more. Wasn't there a silver goal rule in the Euros 2004? Silver goal rule? What's the silver goal rule? All I know is the golden goal. Simply because he was winning the game. But let's find out in a bit. Let's find out in a bit. Vela says, I want a goal. Wasn't there a silver rule back in 2004? No, actually, the golden goal rule was withdrawn in 2004, according to some sources. But it was introduced in 1993. And for those of you that remember earlier on in the broadcast, when somebody mentioned Lore Blanca's goal against Paraguay at the 1998 World Cup. Then also even in 2002, Henry Camara scored against Sweden for Senegal, the golden goal. The Germans are claiming there was a handball. It looks like the referee Where's the handball? I don't see it. I don't see it. The Germans want to go through the window now. They don't want to win genuinely, you know. They want to win favors. They want the easy ones. They want penalties now. If a goal was scored during extra time, the match did not end immediately. Instead, play continued until the end of the 15 minutes half, giving the trading team a chance to equalize, as you say, according to Google. I'm not too familiar with it, so I won't lie to you. Maybe I'll try to find out a little more about that. Again, they want to claim there's a handball. What's that on his arm? Is that a wristband or what? Does it hit the arm? Can see even Julian Nagelsmann claiming for it. Is a Paraguay player on the turf. Looks like, let's see. There'll be no penalty for the Germans. You can't give that. Oh, it did hit his arm, but I don't think the arm was in an unnatural position if it is hitting you in between here, between your arm and the upper a part of your rib cage. Sanabria and Ojeda introduced. Was there a slight push from Jonathan Tah? Looks like Julian Nagelsmann cannot believe it. Can imagine how a defeat for the Germans would slap inside a stadium. We're into the 99th minute. I think about 5 minutes of the opening half left. At some point, they're barely going to have the legs to run. He didn't even make them run for it. It's already 1:44 a.m. here in Kampala, Uganda. It's already Tuesday, the 30th of June. You think German has a chance on penalties? The Germans are good penalty takers, that's for sure. But and then I mean, you'd fancy Neuer maybe to get one or two right, and it's a goal. Jonathan Tah rises the highest for German, and it's 2-1. I was still saying about penalties. Penalties are 50-50. Can go either way. But for now, Paraguay have to search for an equalizer because Jonathan Tah has just scored. Why do coaches drink some water when their teams concede or score? Ah, he rises the highest at the back posts and he heads it into the back of the net. Was they fouled the goalkeeper? I don't think so. The goal is going to be reviewed. There's a VAR check on whether there was a foul on the goalkeeper. Remember, they said no blocking goalkeepers, no nothing. Those sorts of shenanigans, they will not be there. Anyway, for somebody that gets the opportunity to watch the Premier League almost week in, week out, that for me is not a foul. That for me is not a foul. First of all, the goalkeeper goes down quite easily. Looks like he moves into the defender. Ah, another goal is going to be ruled out or could be ruled out. For me, that's a bit of a stretch. That's a goal if he was Arsenal. Eyo goal singa ebadde Arsenal singa nsale. I think he's going to rule it out. That's what I think. Somebody has been booked in the technical area after review. Foul on the goalkeeper, no goal. And Julian Nagelsmann and his technical bench cannot believe it. The Premier League, the Premier League cannot believe it now. Sino Bueno cannot believe it. Well, we're into the added minute of the opening stanza of extra time. Let's see how it goes down. Let's see how it goes down. But I mean, that's a bit harsh. Julian Nagelsmann was the one given a sort of a yellow card in that technical area. Waldemar Anton. Waldemar Anton was the player penalized for that foul. Vala says, I'm in love with the referee. No, they are serious. I mean, does he impede the goalkeeper? Yes. Like when that ball is fast played, he does impede the goalkeeper, or at least appears to impede the goalkeeper. And then the ball goes across, he hits the ground, and by the time he rises again, it's just not in time for him to. It's just not in time for him to get to the ball. 4 minutes were added in this first half. You know, but it appears Nick Boltmada wants a penalty. Seemed like he was seeking the contact. Seemed like he sought the contact. This German side is not good enough. That's why Roy said they were there for the taking against Ivory Coast. That's too high. Oh, Kai Havertz nearly put it in the back of the net, but Gil was there to the rescue. He's trying to head it back across goal. Her touch to it was not strong enough. The goalkeeper literally put it off his own defender's head before gathering it. Nick Waltmate could only watch. And that's it. That's the end of the first half of extra time. Can you imagine? We headed to 2 a.m. It's a game at 4 a.m. I don't know if I should even stay. I thought this game was going to end on time. I would go catch my 2 hours of sleep and then wake up for the Netherlands Morocco game. But by the end of this one, it will be about an hour and a half left to the kickoff of the next game. Black, yellow, red. Those are the German colors, similar to those of Uganda. It's the arrangement that differs. Theirs is black, red, yellow. Ours is black, yellow, red. The second half will resume subsequently. Not much delays are expected. If it ends the same way, we'll definitely we'll be going for penalties. Havertz gets himself in the referee's book. "14 minutes of extra time left to play." And then Paraguay have a free kick in a good position. May not be good for a direct free kick, but good for a set play. It's going to be a long one. Fool's Edit says, "What are you doing? You like football?" Yes, I like football. We are watching the German-Paraguay game, which is into the second half of extra time. Obviously, there's not much in it, hence the moments of quietness. But Fool's Edits, good to have you on the broadcast. Where are you joining us from? And good evening. Oh, Nathaniel Brown, Antonio Rudiger eventually withdrawn. Wits withdrawn for Amil. I mean, German against Paraguay. I needed extra time. not the kind of energy that I would have expected. I'll sub to you. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fools Edits. Oh, Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, it's 2 a.m. here in Kampala, Uganda. It's 2 a.m. officially. Oh, Joshua Kimmich attempting to go straight for goal. Gill had to put that over the bar. Uh-oh. It's scrappy. Paraguay on the counter-attack. Here they come. The Germans seem to have covered up the ground. It's 1 a.m. in Norway. Oh, okay. Good for you. Oh, yeah. Europe. Some countries in Europe, we are 1 hour ahead of them. For others, like UK, we are 2 hours ahead of them. So it's midnight in the UK. And for us, it's 2 a.m. So that means the game for you between Netherlands and Morocco is kicking off at 3 a.m. I really I don't know if I'll even have the guts of doing the watch along for the game between Morocco and Netherlands. I mean, I've already lost my freshness for this one, given how long it's gone on. We're 2 hours and 43 minutes into the broadcast. So, Norway. What do I know about Norway? Is the city of Oslo in Norway? Okay, I know it's one of the Scandinavian countries. Norway, Sweden, and the other is what? There are 3. Known for their forestry. So that, okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Sarayan says Copenhagen. Copenhagen? Is it that Netherlands? No, not Netherlands. Isn't that Denmark? Copenhagen. I don't believe that's Norway. Anyway, I stand to be corrected. Yeah, that's Denmark. Copenhagen is Denmark. We are famous for our forest and fish. Yes, forestry. We used to, in geography, I think it was called geography, let me see, paper 2, because at A level or advanced education, level of education, in our geography, we had 3 papers. Paper 1 was about, the structure of the earth, etc., etc. In paper 2, that's when we study about Norway and fishing and forestry in there. And then in paper 3, we studied about Ugandan geography. So that's why forestry came to mind. If, okay, you say you're from Oslo, if South Korea can't beat South Africa, then they deserve not to play anymore. Well, they were sent home already, and so have South Africans since then. Who do you want to win the World Cup? Brazil. Brazil is the country that I want to win the World Cup. But I know Norway is participating. They have a really, really good team. As an Arsenal fan, a part of me roots for Martin Odegaard to really, really do well in the competition. So So yeah. Oh, Jamal Musiala swept somebody off his feet, not in a good way, you know. So yeah, you say I was going to the World Cup, but we did not get tickets. Oh, you did not get tickets for the games? You may as well have gone anyway and have the experience of, maybe for a couple of days in the USA. So I was sad. It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. Um, Lots of fans that wanted to go could not get the tickets, and it's primarily because in US practice, third parties are allowed to purchase tickets and then resell them. So lots of tickets are out there on resale, but they're so expensive. That's what I've been led to believe. That's what I've been led to believe. 3 minutes left to the conclusion of they just do a revenge tackle on Jamal Musiala. Couple of minutes left to the conclusion of this. That's right. It's very expensive. Sorry about my English. No problem. I know for an absolute fact that for a lot of people with whom I interact on here, English is not their primary language. It's not their first language. Nor is it mine, by the way. Only that for us, it's the official language that we use. I come from a country in Uganda where we have so many local languages. So one of the languages that unites us as a country is English, but it's also because we were colonized by the British. So that's why, you know, you say you speak very well. Thank you. But that's the sort of background to it. So when you go in school in Uganda, you're taught largely or predominantly in English. So we were colonized by the British, so English is our official language. But we have so many local languages, and so, or what you would call your mother tongue. So when I come on here and interact with a good number of people, today you interact with somebody from Turkey, tomorrow it's somebody from India, somebody from Norway like yourself. Earlier on we had somebody from Poland. On another day it's going to be somebody from Ukraine, Pakistan, all over the place. So different people, different languages, and sometimes I'm interacting with one Mariam from Egypt, and she mostly knows Arabic. She listens and she hears and listens English, but she's not very fluent with it. Oh, Leon Goska, whatever he was planning, never, materialized. Looks like Jamal Musiala gave up on the chess. Come on. I was hoping that Kai Havertz would come up with a cracker there, but he was impeded from going forward. I hate penalties. I hate penalties. What's the score? It's 1-1. German 1, Paraguay 1. And we're headed for penalties if these next 2 minutes erupts without any of the teams scoring. Come on, you can't afford to be offsides. Oh, Mary hit the side net. Did he? Oh, he tried to bend it, but the bend wasn't good enough. Who do you want to win? As far as this game is concerned, really, apart from wishing Kai Havertz well, really do not have much vested interest in the game as to the extent of I want this side to win. My prediction was that German would go through, but their performance has been quite wanting when it comes to the final third. So whoever goes through is whoever comes through. But it wouldn't hurt if Kai Havertz went through to the next round. Oh, is that a good throw even? Ah, now Paraguay just putting the ball up in the air. And the referee calls it to a stop. Penalties we are destined for. Teams will have a couple of minutes to interact amongst themselves in regards who the penalty takers will be. How many subs do you have? About 4,000 something. About 4,400. Thereabouts. So it's a pleasure to have you join our growing community. Okay. I have only 74. You'll make it. You'll make it. Baby steps. This is my third year. August the 8th. We'll be making 3 years of doing this. So, baby steps. You'll get there bit by bit. The Germans are oftentimes good penalty takers, but it's not a given that you win a penalty shootout at the World Cup. So, Julian Nagelsmann is taking his notes. Now I keep looking over to this side because I have an open window for the fresh air as goes through this podcast. I'll probably go to sleep now. Okay. Have a blessed night. And until next time, for me, I'll stay and watch the penalties, watch the penalty shootout, and see who will come out on top at the end of it all. And then we see where the road leads. We see where the road leads for most of this, German win, come back. Okay, hopefully. You say, I'll come back next time. All right. I'll be looking forward to having you next time. Oh. Luka Vlahovic, say you is my brother. Good night. Good night, Fuzzy Edits. Good night to you as well. Luka Vlahovic, how are you doing? Are you a brother to Luka Vuskovic, the Croatian defender who plays for Tottenham Hotspur, who has attracted interest from Brighton and Hove Albion? Any relationship there? Gil and Manuel Neuer, it's time for them to, you say yes, Croatia versus Portugal, Brazil, America. We'll be looking forward to those. I mean, why do players have to stand so far away as far as the center line? Should be allowed to stand midway the pitch's half. Feels like a very long walk. The Germans will go fast. Kai Havertz, the goal scorer, who scored restore parity in this particular game, is the one to go fast. Scored in the 54th minute to cancel out Julio Enciso or Enciso, opener in the 42nd minute. And since then, there's no looking back. Jonathan Tah thought he had won it for the Germans, but his goal was ruled out for a foul on the goalkeeper by Waldemar Anton. Can Kai Havertz convert from the spot? Penalty kicks. German go fast. It's just him, the ball, and the goalkeeper before him. Whistle goes, he takes his time, takes a sigh of breath. Oh, and the goalkeeper, Gil saves it. Gil saves it. Oh. Kai Havertz could not convert from the penalty spot. Meanwhile, my battery has warned, so I need to plug it in. That bit of a hesitation is always an issue for me. Gets consoled by his teammates. So German have missed their first penalty. It's now up to Manuel Neuer to come to the rescue with all his experience. Can he come to the rescue of the Germans? That's what I said about penalties. They're 50-50. The suspect is going to score. He's also as left-footed as... And he puts it beyond the reach of Manuel Neuer. Mauricio scores. It's 1-2. It's 1 for Paraguay and 0 for German as far as the penalties are concerned. Meanwhile, we've crossed into the third hour of our broadcast. We came live at 11:20. Joshua Kimmich is the next penalty taker. Joshua Kimmich is the next penalty taker. Let's see, can he convert? Or will Gill stand in his way? Here he comes, and he scores. Sends the goalkeeper entirely the wrong way, and he scores. One for the Germans. Like I said, they'll need Manuel Neuer to bail them out. And the skipper, Joshua Kimmich, has scored. Let's see, the skipper for the Paraguayans, here they come. Can he convert? Manuel Neuer. Oh, sends Manuel Neuer entirely the wrong direction, and he scores. Two 0 for Paraguay. And they shout, Vamos, come on. Is Vamos a Spanish phrase, a Portuguese phrase, a Mexican phrase? Jamal Musiala is the other German player to step up. As things stand, German will be sent packing. Oh, and he puts it beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper went the right direction, but it was out of reach for him. He put his palm to it, but those fingertips weren't strong enough to keep it out. And Denise Undav celebrates, as did the rest of the German teammates. So 2 for German, 2 for Paraguay. Kai Havertz missed. So if they all convert their remaining penalties, then Paraguay will go through. Germans will be hoping Manuel Neuer can conjure up something to this rescue. Oh, he sent the opposite way. Oh, such a cheeky penalty. Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer seems to be going either this or that. If I went this side last time, I have to go this side the other time. It's a 50-50. So Nick Woltemade steps up. If he misses, then Paraguay will only need to score one more. And the Germans will be sent packing. Here he comes. And it's saved. It's saved. Nick Woltemade also misses. Looks like Paraguay are going through. The dominoes are beginning to fall. The Germans can hardly believe it. Ah, lots of hesitation, not enough power to the ball, not enough flight to it. If he scores this one, the German are done and dusted. And home they go. The Arsene parking. He misses. Sanabria misses. Oh, he just put that wide of the mark. Manuel Neuer had gone the right direction. Whether he would have gotten to it or not, that would be a story for another day. But Sarabia has missed. If this one misses, then we do not need to see the final penalty because it's 3-2. This is a pressure penalty. Is it Amir? Amir scores. It's 3 up. It's now Manuel Neuer that has to come to the rescue of the Germans. Beautiful penalty. Manuel Neuer does not have the antiques of Dubi Martinez. I mean, for all his experience, here comes the Geno, and he misses. Manuel Neuer, at long last, comes to the rescue of the Germans. So we have to do it all over again. Impressive. Paraguay had an opportunity to win this one twice, and they've fallen short. Now, we go again. We have to take penalty 6. And until such a point when we have a winner, it's 3-3. Jonathan Tah steps up. Gil has saved 2 penalties. Neuer saved 1, the other was put wide. Here comes Jonathan Tah, and he puts it over the bar. That's just a poor penalty, by the way. He blazed it over the bar. The flight on that ball was just high. Can Manuel Neuer bail out the Germans again? I don't think so. And he scores. And Paraguay are through. 4-3 on penalties. Paraguay are through, and the Germans are sent packing. I mean, you can't miss that many opportunities. Go and rest, and until next time, German. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure. Luka Vlahovic, Foods Edits, United Road 10, Viola, Sino Bueno. Sino Bueno will have to leave his village. TBE, Cedric, and every single one of you that has been part of the conversation tonight. It's almost, it's 2:29, actually 2:30 a.m. That means we are 1.5 hours away from the kickoff between Netherlands and Morocco. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. Have a blessed night. Until next time. Bye-bye for now.